know that Brooke, just like Peter Franchot and I, will be focused on making sure that the process is fair, open, transparent, and that the lens of equity and inclusion is focused on every issue that comes before us. And with the pension system, which we all sat on also, with an eye towards long-term strength of the fund, meaning being aware of the impact of issues like climate change and good governance on the companies we invest in. I have faith in Brooke. I have faith in her administration, and I'm just so excited to be on the working part of this transition.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you all so much for coming this afternoon or this morning. We don't want to take up too much time, but I'm happy to take a few questions now. Again, I just want to thank all of our co-chairs. This is an exciting process. As Treasurer Kopp said, we do have a website, brookelierman.com, where members of the public will be able to submit comments. It can also be emailed to transition@brookelierman.com, and we look forward to receiving comments, ideas, suggestions over the next few months. All of our transition work groups will be holding several meetings, both on Zoom and we'll at least be doing some in person, and we look forward to making sure that we're reaching out, meeting with people, bringing in ideas as well. As we noted earlier, or as Candace noted earlier, all of the work group co-chairs will be named after this, or their names will be released after this press conference. And then in the coming days, we will release the names of the members who will round out those work groups. I'm so grateful. Look, I should say, I'm so excited to get to work, right? This is why you run. You run for office to get things done. And having a strong transition team, thinking through how we hit the ground running in January, will help us ensure that from day one, we are raising the bar and meeting the needs of Marylanders, of our families, of our communities, and our small businesses. I'm thrilled and honored that the people behind me and our co-chairs are up for joining us to help make sure that this historic transition takes place smoothly and that we're able to hit the ground running to get work for Marylanders on January 16th. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you all, and we're happy to take a few questions.
Comptroller-elect, yes. It appears everyone that you announced today to help you lead your transition are women. Was that
Peter?
Was that a deliberate choice? And what message are you trying to send to them?
Sure. You know, as the first woman independently elected to statewide state office in Maryland, comes with that, I believe, a responsibility to make sure that we are listening and learning from the women in Maryland. I'm thrilled to have so many incredible women leaders in the state of Maryland, and I look forward to learning from them, working from them, and moving forward. You know, somebody said to me the other day, "Why are you appointing all women?" And I said, "Why not?"
Can I comment on that? Yeah. If I could comment on that, I say all over the state that women rule, and we need more women in politics, in elected office, high elected office. The legislature is one thing, but these statewide offices, it is a pleasure, and there will be many, many more. I know what resonates with me is Brooke saying that she's the first woman, but not the last. And I just think it's healthy for the body politic of the state. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Aaron. Other questions? Josh?
Have you set an inauguration swearing-in date yet?
I believe it's the third Monday of January, according to the Constitution. But we are actively looking at that. We will announce plans soon, and we're hoping for beautiful weather just like this.
You listed a number of policy priorities on the campaign trail. What's at the top of the list for you?
Sure. The question is, what's at the top of the list? So I actually think the first priority of any new leader has to be to listen. And to listen to the people who are in the agency, and that's something I'm excited to do, but also to listen to Marylanders about what they want to see, right? We've been doing a lot of that on the campaign trail already, but we have more to do. And we're gonna do it in an intentional way, and that's why we're setting up this transition process, to be able to listen to Marylanders. Number two is to make sure that we're building the best team possible. Because if you wanna get something good done, you can't do it alone, right? We have to build a great team. And so I look forward to working through over the next couple months to making sure that we're building a great team who can serve the people in Maryland. And then finally, one of the things that underlies all of the work that we want to do in the Comptroller's office is making sure that the office that we're modernizing the office and seizing on new innovative methods, evidence-based, using our data to make sure that we can do more effectively, more efficiently for the people of Maryland. With that, always thinking through how we view these issues and challenges and solutions using an equity lens as well. So I'm excited about the work that we're able to do. I look forward to listening to Marylanders, to staff, and to building a great team moving forward so we can get things done now and in the years to come.
So you mentioned modernizing the Comptroller's office. What's that going to look like for an everyday Marylander who's not as dialed into politics?
Sure. So whenever we're talking about modernizing the office, it's about how do we seize on new technologies and innovations to make sure that it's easier for Marylanders to interact with their state government. Whether that's updating our website, thinking through how you pay your taxes or get your refunds, or whether you're a contractor or a minority business enterprise looking to do work with the state. What are the ways that we can seize on new technology to interact with Marylanders? I think there's so much out there that we can think about, whether it's creating new systems to track incoming issues and complaints and challenges, or praise for the office, whether it's making sure that there's more feedback, whether we're just updating the website to make it, so that we can simplify finding things, and thinking about how we can enable small businesses who are starting, or new businesses and entrepreneurs, to understand the resources of the Comptroller's office, how they incorporate in Maryland, how they can work, how they pay their taxes. Some of this is already started in the Comptroller's office, and I look forward to continuing that work and to moving it along.
You have the website. What do you expect to hear from people?
Sorry, say that again?
The website you have set up. What do you expect to hear from people?
When do I expect to hear from people?
What do you expect to hear from people?
Oh, what do I expect to hear from people? It's been really interesting running for comptroller, because the comptroller's office is so unique in Maryland government because it's so people focused. And so many people have a question or a story about an interaction that they've had with the comptroller's office. And so what I hope that I hear from people is, here's what's working well, here are some ideas I have to make it work better and build on the good things that are happening there, and how we can improve. Because one thing we have to be doing is constantly improving, right? And that's what I'm excited to do. And so I expect to hear from people, here are challenges, here are ideas, here's what I'd like to see when I'm interacting with the comptroller's office, whether it's from the viewpoint of a contractor, whether it's viewpoint from somebody who's starting a small business, whether it's about our pension system and how we're investing, or whether it's about how quickly they get their refund. Yes?
One more question. So much of your campaign was about taking on new issues in the Comptroller's office, climate change and all of that. I know that was something that Republican voters were considering. Now that these are your constituents, what do you want to say to those voters who were saying, oh, that's not the Comptroller's job to take on those issues?
Sure. The great thing about the Comptroller's office is that it's not about partisanship. It's about partnership, right? The Comptroller's office is the office where we need to partner with our state agencies, with our local governments, with with nonprofits like the Cash Campaign and others, to make sure that we are best serving the people of Maryland. But that can be done in many, and that is something that I'm excited to do. We also have to think through how we're investing our dollars, whether it's in the pension fund or when we're awarding contracts, to make sure that we're doing that with an eye towards fiscal sustainability, to make sure that we're getting best value for the people of Maryland. And that means if we're allocating new funds for a building of a school, it means that we have to be meeting and exceeding our minority business enterprise goals, which we're not right now. It means that we need to make sure that when they build a new school, that we're not building it in a floodplain, right? That's how we make sure that we're actually getting best value for our dollars, to make sure that we're spending money now that will build generational wealth, but that we're also building for generations to come. And that's the viewpoint I'm excited to build and bring to the Comptroller's office. Thank you.
One question for the current Comptroller. Beyond this transition team, what's next for you?
Well, I've got several irons in the fire, and I still have 2 months left as comptroller, and I'll be talking about some of that down the road. But I just want to reinforce what Brooke has laid out, which is that this is probably the most powerful office in Maryland that no one's ever heard of. And she's going to make it heard, and she's going to reach out to people. And she's going to build on the success that we've had today with new initiatives. And I couldn't be more pleased to be with her today. I'd like to invite you all into my office, but I think I'll just invite the co-chairs in with me, if that's okay. Thank you.
Last question, and then we'll be available for stand-ups.
Yep. Any other final questions?
Do you expect will your transition team help you vet senior staff too, or will it just simply be sort of an issue by issue thing, and will their work stop when you're sworn in, or is there sort of a date certain when this all has to be done?
Great question. So yes, I do expect that through the transition process, they will have ideas on staff members, on people who could be good team members, whether that's as a paid member of the Comptroller's office or for populating advisory committees, which I expect that we will be standing up. I know Comptroller Franchot has several. We will also have continual advisory groups. Whether that's advising on pension funds, whether it's a small business advisory group, contractors working with our minority business enterprises and our women-owned businesses to make sure that they have a seat at the table. We will continue to have input and to make it possible to provide input to the Comptroller's office. If any of you watched how I ran a campaign, you understand that's who I am. I'm always looking for input. I'm always looking for ideas. And so we'll keep doing that. The transition team itself will release a final report in the several weeks after, shortly after the swearing in. So thank you, everybody. Happy for stand-ups, and thank you again to our great co-chairs. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. I have press releases available. You will have a digital copy in your inboxes shortly. This one is 2 names short. So use the digital one for final copy of the co-chair.
Brooke, when you're done, you should just come in.